Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I had a whole bunch of people send me this troubling story, and the headline kind of hides what the story is about, because it says your car insurance companies have found a sneaky way to raise your rates. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And so this is from thestreet.com. Patricia Battle wrote this, but it was reported widely in a bunch of different places, including the New York Times, and sent to me by about 50 different people. And this is going to be a huge fight. But this is an indication of something that's gone very, very wrong in the consumer marketplace. Many consumers are unaware that they consented to providing car insurance companies with a vital piece of information that is used to determine their rates. And worse, information gathered by your car is being sold without your knowledge. And you might say, but Steve, I suspected that, or I knew that all along. Oh, but without your knowledge, you don't know who they've sold it to, or for how much, or what information they've sold. And that's the scary part. So auto insurance companies are big users of the information, but they use this information to affect your rates, and it comes from the features in your car. Usually when you either lease or finance a vehicle, you have the option to lower your car insurance rates in exchange for something precious, which is your personal information. This is done through apps that car insurance companies prompt users to download, which track your driving habits in order to receive discounted monthly payments. And of course, if you do anything inappropriate while driving, it's noted by the app, and that would be completely voluntary. But a lot of consumers don't know that there are internet-enabled features in your car, such as your navigation and your car apps that connect you to your vehicle. They can also track your driving habits. And that tracking information they can then sell to people who want it. So I can tell you right now, and this doesn't take much thought to figure out, that my car knows where I buy my gas. My car knows what restaurants I've stopped at recently. My car knows what stores I've driven by and not stopped at. My car knows the range of my territory, almost like I'm an animal with a radio collar on. And so if somebody wanted to, they could say, oh, here's the deal. I want everyone, the information from as many people as I can get in this one particular county who drive by this one store but don't stop. I want their information so I can target ads at them. Okay? So not only that, the data collected from your driving habits can also negatively affect your car insurance rates with your current or any future car insurance company you choose to sign up with, regardless of whether you have an accident or not. This is because the data on your driving habits is shared with data brokers such as LexisNexis and Verisk, who sell the information to other car insurance companies who request to access it, according to a report from the New York Times. Major automakers such as General Motors, Ford, Kia, Subaru, etc. have shared this data with data brokers who analyze it and compile it in a report that creates a risk score for car insurance companies that use it as a factor to determine insurance rates. But again, that's just the insurance. That's just one of the many, many people who'd love to have all the information on you. Last year, a report by Mozilla made headlines, and it revealed a 17-page list of the different types of information that cars can collect from users through in-car technology and features. The list starts off with things you might guess, but gets more disturbing when it reveals things that cars can collect information on, such as facial geometric features, behavioral characteristics, biological characteristics, your sex life, genetic data, your religion, philosophical beliefs. And what's even more unsettling is that the data can be shared to third parties other than data brokers, such as advertisers, car dealers, and service providers for a profit. So you might say, but Steve, I don't remember signing up for that. Oh, you probably don't. I'll tell you why. I've had so many people tell me, Steve, I bought a brand new car. The salesman sat in the car and showed me all the features. And he turned on the infotainment center and said, here, you just click here, and now you got all this stuff. And the salesman clicked it. Nobody read the terms of service, but buried in there was, we're gathering all kinds of data on you, and you authorize us to use that. And by the way, if you don't authorize it, your infotainment center doesn't work. You can't opt out of it. So data collection from cars has recently gained attention from at least one lawmaker who's calling on the Federal Trade Commission to investigate how automakers collect data. That's U.S. Senator Ed Markey, who wrote a letter to the FTC last month claiming that there are not enough limitations on the amount and type of data that automakers can collect from users. I write to urge the Federal Trade Commission to investigate the data privacy practices of auto manufacturers. With new advances in vehicle technology and services, automakers have been vacuuming up huge amounts of data on drivers, passengers, and even individuals outside the vehicle. Based on public reporting and responses to my own inquiries, automakers face few, if any, limitations on the collection, use, and disclosure of this data, and consumers are often left in the dark. Many consumers are already wary about automakers collecting their personal data. According to a recent survey, 80% of Americans that were polled said they did not trust how automakers handle their personal data, and only less than 20% said they would exchange their information if it was an effort to make the roads safer. And so, again, this article focuses on the insurance rates. And we've all seen the ad on TV where they say, look, we'll give you this device, plug it into your car, and if you got that thing on your car and you drive safely, your rates will drop. We'll give you a nice, good, low rate, and we'll leave it there, right? But that's only one of the many uses for the information. I'm more concerned about the fact that my car knows everywhere I go. And I used to think my car could keep its mouth shut. I've got 4 vehicles right now, 4 automobiles, and only one of them is smart like this. And I really, really admire my '02 Ford Explorer that still has a cassette deck in it that works. Infotainment, what? No. I've also got the other vehicles that don't have that stuff in them either. And so the weird part is I've read articles on this and related topics. And one of the things they've talked about is the fact that car companies are very, very competitive. And of course, they're always trying to make as much money as they can. And somebody pointed out a while back that, hey, do you understand that if you could cash in on all the data collected on the people who drive your cars, then you could make a fortune selling that information. And so they sell the information. And now, I've mentioned before that the government sells your information. So the government obviously knows where you live. They know if you've got a driver's license. They know all kinds of stuff about you. And all of that information is for sale. And I find that very disturbing. But because they all do it, that is, all the states do it, as far as I know, it's not going to stop anytime soon unless somebody stands up in the legislatures of those states and said it's time to put an end to this because this is wrong regarding the state selling information. But here, you buy a car. You drop a lot of money on a brand new car. The salesman authorizes the terms of service for you because he's trying to show you how to use the car. And next thing you know, all your data about your day-to-day activities is being sold to somebody. And it used to be in the old days. I'm talking about pre-internet, okay? Young folk in the audience, just imagine there's a time before the internet, where it would never occur to you that anybody would want all that data because it'd be too hard to handle. How do you handle all that data, right? Well, nowadays, data storage is not the limit here. Instead, it's can we get into a person's life and sweep up the information? And yes, we can, because we've got a vehicle we sold to them that's got a built-in tracking device in its navigation app, and all we got to tell it to do is show this person how to get from point A to point B, and then record your route and pass it along to us. And then they take all the data from all the various people, and they crunch it, and they cross-section it, and they slice it, and they go, okay, who wants the information on the people who live in this county? Who wants the information on the people who live in this city? Who wants the information on every single person who drives on this road? And they can dice it and slice it that accurately and sell it. And so this is something that needs to be stopped. And so I salute the U.S. Senator Ed Markey for writing to the Federal Trade Commission saying, look into this. But I got a better idea for you, my friend. Pass legislation. Pass legislation that says that you have the right to opt out of that, and it must be made known to you that you've got a right to opt out of it. You should have the right to tell your car to stop snitching on you. You own the car. You paid for the car. Unless Ford Motor Company is giving me my car for free, they do not have the right to gather the information from it and sell it. That's my car. Okay? And that's a problem. So, that's the story right there. The headline, like I said, focuses on the car insurance. But that's only a part of it. That's only a part of it. I'm more worried about the stuff they can sell to marketers. And I don't like people spying on me like that, especially not in such a strange way that this has been happening now for a few years, and it's just now really getting the traction in the news. So thanks to everybody who sent it to me. Again, the New York Times has got an article, The Street's got an article, and a few other Business Insiders got an article on it. It's widely covered. And one side of it is, yes, the insurance companies. The other side of it is everyone else. And they can take the information from your life and sell it to anybody who wants to buy it, as it is right now. So there you go. Car insurance companies have found a sneaky way to raise your rates. Patricia Battle wrote that for TheStreet.com. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. You can, you should, and if you're brave enough to start, you will.